nasty. That thing sounds freaking wicked, man. What a machine.
Wait till you take it for a ride, Kev.
It's like getting shot out of a rocket, huh? How many cc's is this Busa?
It's still the stock displacement. I believe, I forget the exact displacement. I think it's over 1,200 cc's. The bottom end is almost stock. It's stock pistons and rods actually, but I have a spacer plate under the cylinders.
Yeah.
It has valve springs and retainers in it. The clutch has some modifications to hold all the power too. It has the GT 3071 turbocharger on it as well. Tile wastegate, HKS blow-off valve. It's pretty fun. It's a good time.
It sounds absolutely ridiculous, man. It doesn't sound. When I was down in the shop and I heard you drive by, I was like, "Oh shit, that's got to be Justin." The distinct sound of a turbocharged Hayabusa. Guys, if Justin looks familiar, he's been in a couple of videos before. He has a turbocharged Suzuki GS 1200 Bandit, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Yes, sir.
And at Rice-A-Rama, I met him, and he's 25 years old, builds all his own bikes. How many turbo bikes have you built so far?
Over a half dozen.
And I was at your shop last night checking out. He has a single overhead cam CB750 turbo that's absolutely really unique and rare. You don't see many early 70s turbocharged motorcycles. And then you got another one you're building right now, the Top Gun bike. Describe that one.
Yes, sir. That's a 1984 Kawasaki GPZ 900. And it has an old Mr. Turbo kit on it. Right now I'm going through the engines. The engine on it. I have custom pistons coming in from CP Carrillo right now, and as soon as I get that done, I'm going to bring it over to UCAN. And
I can't wait to see it. It's going to be beautiful.
Heck yeah.
We'll bring this up top where it's a little quieter. We've got too much road noise. I want to ask you a few questions about this bike.
Absolutely. That's fine.
Like a regular Hayabusa is not fast enough, man. They're insanely fast stock, but with the turbocharge, it's just next level. So Justin, what's the estimated rear wheel horsepower? And we are going to put it on the dyno to find out eventually, but what are you guesstimating the HP of the rear wheel?
It's over 300. I would say anywhere from 300 to 330 to the rear tire right now, the way it's set up. It's never been dynoed, so I don't know for certain, but it's a lot.
I can't say I've ever ridden a bike with that much power. What's it like?
It's a rocket. Like you said, it's like hitting warp speed. Everything just moves around you. It's a different experience for sure.
Just hang on.
Yeah, hang on.
I mean, the stock one will do over 90 in first gear. I can only imagine what this thing's like. It must be totally insane. So, what's the speedometer top out on this thing?
It tops out at 190. The early ones, I believe, topped out at 220.
Weren't they limited by the manufacturers to
yes,
like 194 miles per hour? Was it 186 or something like that at one point?
Yeah, I think they the 99s would do 200 out of the box, I believe, but then the regulations came in and they changed it to 184.
What do you think this will do at top speed? Like if you had a spot like the Bonneville Salt Flats that you could
with the gearing in it now, 210, 215, but it'll bury the gears easy on it. If I change the gearing on it, it would do well over 220.
Now you own a Land World Speed Record motorcycle. I saw it in your shop last night. Describe that one to us.
Yeah, that's a 1990 ZX11. It was bought brand new and brought over to Orient Express Racing out of New York, and they built the engine completely, and then the bike was brought over to Mr. Turbo out of Texas, and they did the turbo kit and also converted the bike to fuel injection. So, and that bike back in 1991 did 205 miles an hour. I think that was in a standing mile as well. It was the world's fastest street bike.
Yeah, at that time that was unheard of on a production street bike with standard wheelbase and everything.
Yeah, stock wheelbase.
So tell our viewers what your dirt bike is too.
Oh, I have a CR500, which Ken's going to see soon. 1997.
97, yeah. My favorite year. I was like, man, this guy needs to be part of our team. So guys, I was at Justin's shop last night, and he's in IT like I was, and he has a shop at his warehouse that his grandfather owns. Real nice shop. It's more of an industrial space. And I said to him, I said, you only live once. Are you happy doing IT? And he goes, yeah, it's okay. And I said, well, your passion's motorcycles. You're down here at all hours of the night building the most sick turbo motorcycles I've ever seen. I said, why don't you come aboard the team? And he said, I'd love to. And I made him an offer, and he accepted the offer, so he's coming aboard. Welcome aboard. There's the newest member of the team. And I want to tell you a little bit about his background. At 25 years old, to have the skill set to build crank up rebuilds on 4-cylinder bikes. Now, the other thing, yesterday when you pulled up, he rolled out on a CBX 6-cylinder Honda, which we'll probably end up doing a video on. He did the carbs on a 6-cylinder Honda himself, which most of my, I'm not sure my senior techs besides Jeff Castine could do a 6-cylinder carb job, because it is kind of one mistake and you're doing it over again, you know. So
Right.
so and that thing ran beautiful. I bought 4 bikes off you yesterday, 4 CB750s. They all ran great. So we're thrilled to have you on the team. Tell our viewers, how did you get this type of a skill set mechanically at your age without going to school? You're self-taught, right?
Yes, I was fortunate enough that my grandfather had a 1975 Honda CB400, and the bike had 2,000 original miles. He did work for someone's house, and they couldn't pay him back in the 70s, so he ended up getting the bike in the deal. And I kept bugging him constantly, what are you doing with that bike? What are you doing with that bike? And then finally he's like, all right, well, get it running. So I ended up getting it running. He's like, all right, well, now ride it home. And I was like, okay.
How old are you?
I was 16.
Yeah.
And ever since then, I just started toying with that. All my buddies had 600s and newer sport bikes, so I started modifying that, trying to keep up with them, and it just kind of grew from there and into what it is now.
You were telling me you're self-taught, and I asked, how did you self-teach yourself? Tell us about the books that you told me about your reading.
Yeah, I would read constantly. I'd read stuff from RB Racing, turbocharged motorcycle books. I would read like old World War II books as well, engineers. Airplane engineers, aerospace, jet engineers, anything from Walt Ware, the old CEO of Garrett Turbocharger. I read all of his stuff. He's a genius. He worked on the SR-71 Blackbird, actually. He did the hot section for that engine, the J78 Pratt & Whitney engine. So I just love reading that stuff and kind of involved and incorporated that technology into motorcycles.
And last night you had said something. We were talking about what we're working on here, and you said anything I could dream of, you could build. And I told
Yes.
you I want to build an American-made motocross bike based off a 500 plus cc two-stroke. So we're talking about doing that, and I'm working with Keith Peterson Racing on designing the engine for it, and probably get the engine cases from Adam Millar, MRE, and we're going to build a one-off Kaplan America motocross and hill climb race bike. That's going to be one of our projects we're going to work on. But we're really excited to have you come aboard. We got 108 bikes waiting to be serviced and restored, and we're turning clients away constantly because we don't have enough ATECs that can do the type of repairs that need to be done. So
Right. It's very rare these days to find that. It really is.
and I told you last night, to find a 25-year-old guy that has your skill set working on turbos and vintage motorcycles is unheard of, because most of the kids coming out of school, they're not even doing carbureted bikes. They're doing fuel injected. They're not even teaching. Right. Most of the new shops won't even take in a 6-cylinder bike like the Laverta, say, or 6 that we had in, or the CBXs that we've done. And I know a guy down in Virginia who's got 5 CBXs in a warehouse that we might be buying. So, but having the guy like you now, Jeff Castine is an ATEC that can do that kind of work, but he's heading to Florida in October. He'll be gone for 5 months. So having you aboard, that's the other thing too. The things you don't know how to do, like 5-angle valve jobs, or do you know how to run the dyno yet?
No, I'm going to learn though.
Jeff's going to teach you the dyno. He can teach you on 5-angle valve jobs, how to run the. We need someone young with a bright future like you to be Jeff's apprentice, so to speak. We have Andrew downstairs. Andrew's doing freaking incredible. Like 6 months ago when he came aboard, he was a C or B tech, and now he's doing frame offs on vintage 500s. Everything cranks up under Jeff's tutelage, and but you coming to the table at a much higher skill set where you're doing 4 and 6-cylinder engine rebuilds and turbos is 6. So in your work speaks for itself. I mean, the 4 bikes I bought from you last night, and the 7 or 9 bikes, 6 or 9 bikes that you had in your shop last night, the custom CB70 single overhead cam, they're just awesome. So stay tuned, guys. We're going to do some videos on the turbo bikes that Justin has built, and we're looking forward to having him on the team.
This is only the beginning. I can promise that. It's only going to go up from here.
That's it. Well, stay tuned, guys. Thanks for watching. Guys, for a while, Christy and Jeff and I have been praying that someone will come along to be Jeff's apprentice so he could do the Vulcan mind meld, which isn't really possible, but he's going to spend some time with Jeff. Jeff, what are your thoughts?
I think it's a good idea because, like, I'm retiring in a year and I got 50 years of fixing motorcycles, so I'm going to show the show.
You can't retire in a year. We need 3 more years out of you, bud.
I'm going to show him everything I know as we go.
Yeah.
There we go.
And he's already very knowledgeable, and he's young and knowledgeable, on motorcycles, so I don't know what else you're knowledgeable on, probably a lot of things, but.
I'm going to learn though. Jeff's going to teach me what I don't know, so.
Yeah.
Yeah, we literally have been hoping that someone would come along that had the drive that you do, your own shop and all the things you're doing, and it's really refreshing to have you on board here. usually Jeff and I, all we see is taillights going down the driveway at 4:30, and him and I are here till 7:30 every night and getting shit done. So it'll be refreshing to have somebody new on a team who wants to go the extra mile, So you got 8 weeks to learn all you can from this guy before you head south, or 10. So stay tuned. So hopefully these two guys together can build us some wicked fast bikes.
We could do that.
Maybe we were talking about building the American-made 500 with one of Adam Millar's CR 500 engine cases made in America, and getting a cylinder from someplace else and a frame and building an all American 500 here. Can you turbocharge two-strokes?
Turbo one. Well,
Yeah.
We could do that. That'll be our joint project.
So stay tuned. These guys are going to build some wicked stuff for us.
Heck yeah.
So we really need the next generation to
Yeah, we
get on
do.
board here.
Because I think he could inspire others, I call him the unicorn.
No, you're right. It really is a dying breed, and
It
hopefully we can
is,
bring that
and
back.
I know there's got to be other guys out there, girls that are into this that are in their mid-20s and wanna go the extra mile.
We still haven't filled the gaping hole in our staff from Kyle leaving, our project manager. So Jeff and I and Bill and everybody, we've been pitching in and doing Kyle's job. So there's still an opportunity. We're still hiring. There still is an opportunity here for a project manager, somebody that wants to get on board and follow the bikes through from when they come off the truck to when they go through the mechanical restoration point, the cosmetic, all the way through to shipping to the final end user. So Kenny and I have been kind of bummed Kyle's last day, as you guys know.
Because I collaborated with Kyle on everything with getting the graphics and
Yeah.
what came up next,
Well, God works in mysterious ways. So he bought us Justin. So we had a huge boost to our mechanical team here, and the rest of the team's going to pick up the slack with Kyle being gone, and there still is that project manager position open. So if you're interested, give us a call.